You what to do with your trades or investments, as I am not a financial advisor. Any and all content provided by me contains my own speculative opinion on the market. As such, this content should not be used to make trading or investment decisions. The market is extremely volatile, and the decisions you make should be based on your own due diligence. If you should make a trade or investment decision based off the speculative content that we provide, this disclaimer legally relinquishes me from any and all responsibility. Past market performance is not indicative of future market results. Trading in any market is extremely risky, and you should conduct your own research and analysis prior to making trading or investment decisions. And welcome back, everybody, to another edition of Blackfire Technical Analysis. Welcome. Happy Monday, everybody. I hope everybody had a long and refreshing relaxing weekend. I know some of the members were on vacation. I hope it was enjoyable for you. I hope you got all your stresses out, and I'm hoping that you're ready to come back to this bullshit and get back into this bullshit technical analysis that we do on a daily basis. And not much else out of that. I do again have instructional videos in the work at the current moment in time. I'm not sure when those will be done, but nonetheless, they are in the work. Again, I am still going through, for the third time, my own technical analysis schooling. I just like to, cover the basis, grab any kind of information that I previously did not obtain from the program, and anytime I get something like that, I like to dissect every little piece of it out as I possibly can, because it's education. I paid for it. But aside of that, it's Monday. It's dark. It's technically Tuesday. No one cares. I think we're just going to go ahead and dive right into it. We're going to go ahead and obviously start off with NASDAQ, and what do we see? Continuation again, once again, fully and for sure to that 1.414 Fibonacci extension target, right around that 14,885 region. Now, I'm looking at this as resistance. Obviously, we're playing around this region. I am going to be looking for a break or a breakdown from this region as a result from meeting that extension target. Now, if we do get a break above the 1.414 here, extension all the way to 2.272 would not be out of the question, in my opinion. That would be more of a longer term target, right around $16,800. Obviously, ebbing and flowing. Now, does it mean it has to hit that target? No, not at all. It does not mean it has to hit that target. We could just pop up above the 1.414 and put it at top there. There are so many different possibilities that could ensue as a result of breaking the 1.414. We just understand the underlying possibility that the 2.272 is a potential target for this asset. Now, obviously, again, that is a long-term target for this one. That one could take weeks on weeks on weeks. So as far as NASDAQ is concerned, that's how I'm looking at the potential upside. Now, if we do meet some resistance around this top area here, right around the 1.414, kind of looking at the the red 10 simple once again as that soft breakdown point. Any closure below that red 10 simple, which is lined up with the 14,730 region, I'll be looking for a pullback all the way to the yellow 21 moving average. Obviously, testing this region first, right around 14,006. That'd be the first, soft target, but, more likely I would be looking for the yellow 21 as the next potential target if this thing were to, put in a top, come down, pull back a little bit. However, from an RSI perspective, we did just print our last higher low right in this region here off the bottom side of the bullish control zone. I love that read. That's just, insinuating potential, potential continuation for this asset. We do see a little bit of weakness in today's movement so far, but the day is young for NASDAQ, and I am still geared more up than I am to the downside. The only thing that is a little bit of a concern for me is the historical volatility percentile. Obviously, still contracting, still coming down. We started seeing that moving average pose a negative slope here. Again, historical volatility percentile is not indicative of direction of price action. We got to remember it's just the violence of the said price action here. And typically when I see contraction with historical volatility, I'm going to be looking for consolidation. And again, that's another possibility in the realm of possibilities that we could see unfold for NASDAQ here as volatility continues to contract. However, everything's pointing up, man. Everything is realistically, from my perspective, pointing up. Look at, again, the fucking stochastics putting in a potential higher low here, looking for continuation again. all that coiling action that I've been talking about for quite some time now, still very, very, very relevant as a big contributing factor for Nasdaq's bull run here. From my perspective, still deep within the critical zone for the bullish side. I'm not fucking bearish. I cannot be bearish on anything that looks like this. I'm not even looking for like a massive pullback. Hardly even a soft pullback to be realistic with you, unless we see those pullback conditions met. Now, obviously, a pullback to the red 10 simple, bounce off of it, that wouldn't be out of the realm of possibilities either, but I'm just, realistically, I'm looking for continuation on this one, with the evidence that the charts are providing me right now. So that's where I'm going to leave NASDAQ. SPY is basically the same thing, except we are looking for an extension of the 1 spot 414 as of right now. The condition of the 1 spot 272 breaking has been met. We did print new all-time highs on NASDAQ for 2 consecutive days. Again, seeing new all-time highs, seeing a little bit of a pullback as a result of new all-time highs, not out of the realm of possibilities. But where it does get a little bit concerning for me here is a potential third rejection of the bullish control zone here, of the bottom side of that bullish control zone. Not a death sentence in and of itself, but it is a little concerning that we're seeing the bulls have a really hard time pushing RSI along with price action into some really bullish control. It would be very, very juicy to see what would happen if we got a massive continuation candle and a breach into the bottom side of the bullish control zone. It would be really interesting to see that. Nonetheless, we got a higher low printing right in this region here off the L21 moving average and off this base of support. I like that read. I like the read of the 1 spot 272 breaking. Stochastics still starting to coil a little bit. You see that starting to coil a little bit. We got that cross down. Now we're basically coiling, fighting that negative momentum here. The bulls are really putting on a fight, seeing some momentum remain in the bullish critical zone. I like everything about the traditional stock market right now. I cannot be bearish on anything that looks like this. I'm looking for extension. I'm looking for continuation of the 1 spot 414. Now, if we get extension of the 1414 and we break the 1414, the 2 spot 272 is going to be the next extension target that I'm going to be looking for. Somewhere around 47, what does that say? 4770. We'll just round it up, give or take a few bucks. Again, that's a little bit of a longer term extension. Obviously, there's a lot of space between this region and this region, and it doesn't even have to basically guarantee that price is going to go up towards that region. All it tells me is that hey, we're looking at potentially major extension as a result of ES1 putting in new all-time highs above the 1414, but. Extension's all I'm looking for, you guys. Conditions are basically the same, but except I'm looking at the yellow 21 as that, little bit of short-term reversal point here. Any closure above 4,300 bucks. I'm going to be looking for a pullback to this region here. This prior breakout point right around, what's that number? Well, yeah, 4250, and I would imagine over the next few days, of course, the next few days, we're going to see the green 55 line up more and more with that region here, and that's just adding confluence to a potential pullback target if this were to start coming to the downside. From a long-term perspective, same thing goes with Nasdaq here. RSI still putting in that long-term uptrend basis here on the daily chart. Everything looks great. Everything looks fucking great. Again, this is just a colossal once-in-a-lifetime bull market here, and enjoy it while it lasts. Yeah, that's it for SPY Futures. Dow Jones, again, putting a new all-time highs here for Dow Jones. I'm looking for continuation as a result. Continuation target now at the 1 spot 272 Fibonacci extension zone. Where does that put us? 35, we'll just call it 35,200. Yeah, 35,200 is going to be my next base target for this to extend up to. Seeing a little bit of a flat line in historical volatility tells me that maybe we see volatility expand as a result of this powerful move to the upside, and nice higher low that basically faked me out. This is kind of where I made an error last week on this chart here, not really noticing that this was actually a technical higher low in conjunction with this one here. For some stupid reason, I thought it closed a little lower. My eyes play tricks on me once in a while. Nonetheless, it is a higher low, and we're seeing continuation as a result. All the way up to new all-time highs here. RSI, let's see what it's doing. Continuing onwards and upwards. Exponential is positive. Printing new highs. Finally, printing new highs on an RSI in correlation with new highs on price action. Bearish divergence is averted for now. But we got that tick high. We got that tick, a little tick higher, which tells me we're printing higher highs on price action and higher highs on RSI. There's no reason to look for bearish divergence. Obviously, we have this point marked off here. I'm looking at this potential point as the bearish divergence. If we are to see, you know, a top call with this move to a new all-time high for Dow Jones, we likely get a bearish divergence call off of this high here. However, if we see price action continue to the 1.272 Fibonacci extension zone, I'm going to be looking at this, you know, this resistance, this RSI resistance to likely get broken, and that would be rather beautiful. But, you know, this read alone is rather beautiful, you know, basically bouncing off the bottom side of the bearish control zone back up above that 50 read. Again, that 50 read is a very, very, very crucial level for my analysis here, and seeing the exponential really never cross below that region all line up for a real nice move to new all-time highs here for Dow Jones. Looks really good, looks really delicious. You know, seeing a little bit of a curl here in the stochastics. However, we're deep in the critical zone. I have no reason to be bearish on anything that's in the critical zone, and I have no reason to be bearish on anything that's put in all-time highs. Now, a little bit of a pullback to test that as new tentative support would not be out of the question. I would actually like that read to confirm the breakout. You could play a more aggressive read here and say that the breakout's already confirmed, but I want to see, from my perspective, I want to see a little bit of a pullback, maybe test this and confirm it as support before extending to that 1.272. That's how I'm looking at this one. Bullish, fucking bullish. I was actually tripped out by this one for a little while, thinking that this was gonna extend further to the downside, but that was not the case. This is a bull market. Let's go ahead and move on to Dixie. Seeing a little bit of difference in price action here today. Really playing with some, putting in new lows. Printing new lows here in conjunction with this low. Now, you could technically say it's a higher low in conjunction with this one over here. Yes, but structurally, it's a change of behavior on a daily chart. And I am, you know, biased to the downside just a little bit. Volatility is also extremely crushed here, which is a tell that something big is likely to come. A big bad move is likely to come. And obviously, we don't have a time frame for that. This isn't a crystal ball indicator. All this tells us is that the violence in the market is really, really, really low here, right? You know, price action is completely erratic and off the charts, right? We're seeing volatility getting crushed here, and the closer and closer that we get to that zero read, the more convinced I'm going to be that a big move is likely to come. Now, we got to underlie some conditions for those moves here. Obviously, we take out this low here. I'm going to be looking for continuation to the downside on this one, all the way to the L21 moving average, but likely this region here at 91.89, the prior flip support right around this region. This is kind of like a little bit of a pivot point from my perspective. If we do take out this region, the same thing that I've been saying for quite some time is going to remain in effect. This is a long-term downtrend bear market, and you really can't convince me otherwise. I'm not even going to fucking argue about it tonight. I'm not even going to bring up the points of other analytics here. It's a fucking downtrend. A downtrend is the downtrend is the downtrend, and the trend is your friend until the end of the trend. And the only thing in this chart here that's going to convince me that it's going to be an end of a downtrend is a break above this region here, right around 93.25. I want to see a daily candle closure above that read. On a daily chart, with obviously momentum oscillators reacting to key critical levels here. Obviously, we're seeing stochastics dive deeper and deeper towards that 50 read, which I'll go ahead and mark off right here. Close enough is close enough. We're seeing stochastics start to trickle on down towards that read. Seeing price action explode, right? Explode back above that cyan 89, and bouncing off of that 50 read is going to be a very, very, very juicy tell that this one is likely to defeat the downside trend to the upside. However, quite the opposite here. If we take out the low, I would say this pivot point here, 91.87 to 91.90, anywhere below that region, while stochastics is taking out that 50 read, is going to be a very significant tell from my perspective that the momentum is likely down on this one. RSI still holding up that long-term uptrend structure. That one is kind of a little bit of an outlier in my opinion, of the general direction of the market. But what we do see here from RSI is one stab, two stabs, three stabs, two stabs of bearish divergence, rejecting the bottom side of that bullish control zone. Now we're seeing follow through that exponential, forcing it back to a negative slope. Any pump up at this point after printing that new low, I'm going to be looking at the exponential to potentially put in some resistance here. And where would that line up with price action? We could see consolidation. That much is very that much is very true here. We're seeing volatility contract to extremes here. we could see this consolidate for a little while, but again, the conditions are the same. I'm looking for a break above the red 10 simple here for like the bounce off of that 50 read for stochastics. But really, like truly in honesty, true honesty here, I'm looking for that cyan or that blue 377 for potential power for a market reversal here. As long as we're below that, man, and below this read especially, I'm going to be bearish. I'm going to be bearish long term. That doesn't mean that we can't see some short-term pumps to the upside. Obviously, there's going to be green candlesticks even in a bear market. However, general bias from my perspective is to the downside. Now, we do have something pretty interesting here with the moving averages. We're starting to see that green 55 converge closer and closer to that purple 200. As long as we remain above those moving averages here, day by day they're going to tick closer and closer and closer together. Now, does that mean golden cross to the future hope of bull market for this one? Again, I'm looking for that. I'm looking for the key critical levels to the upside to confirm a market reversal for this one. Long term, I need to see structural higher highs and structural higher lows. We have the structural higher low part, right? We have this base low here. It was printed on the 6th of January, 2021. And then this region here that printed on the 25th of May, 2021. Those are higher, that's a higher low structure. And what we need to see at this point, from this point on, is a higher high for me to be convinced from a conservative point of view that this is going to be a market reversal, bull market for the U.S. dollar, yada yada yada. You guys know the deal for this one. I've been preaching it for quite some time right now, and we'll go ahead and underlie the conditions that I'm looking for right now. Honestly, to be quite honest with you, I am looking for a little more consolidation for a while. We are basing this area as support. However, we got a new low printed and a change of behavior confirmed after taking out this low here at 92.22. The fact that condition was met, we are seeing this region play as resistance now, so that's going to be my upside. Any break above 92.22, I'll look for a little bit of a soft extension towards the red 10 simple. Any close above the red 10 simple, I do believe we potentially have another stab at that blue 377, but we've seen how that played out in the past. Any closure below this red support line at 92.1. I'm going to be looking for a full pullback all the way down to this region here at 91.89. And anything lower than that, this is just likely to be a structural top once again for this, in my opinion. And we likely see this just continue to the downside. We've seen this, this price action pump up and bring the green 55 close to the purple 200 before. Not even close. We actually saw price action shoot way above those two moving averages and just completely get shreked to the downside. So again, a bear trend is a bear trend is a bear trend, and the trend to the downside is your friend until the end of the trend. So that's how I'm looking at Dixie for right now. I'm gonna go ahead and move on to Bitcoin. My baby. And there's a couple of things that I want to bring up on this one. Let me get some water real quick before I move on. I think, what is this channel called? My buddy Corey in the group chat brought this to my attention, showed me a video, and fucking loved it. I loved the video. The technicals were spot on. I agreed with everything that guy was saying. And while it was an extremely long-term analysis, I'm not too keen on the extremely long-term, although higher time frames take precedence over lower time frames. That's classical technical analysis rule. And he mentioned something about the 6 months chart. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at that and see what we can find, right? I did bring it up on my chart here. And what do we have on the 6th month? Again, this is very long-term, obviously so long-term that we only have volatility reads. We don't have any RSI reads and barely stochastics reads here on Bitcoin 6 month. But we're going to go ahead and look at the structure here, basically highlighting 3 boxes and that red 10 moving average here, right? Box 1, bear market, box 2, bear market, box 3, potential bear market, right? And we're seeing this shooting star reversal candlestick. Obvious, right? That's an obvious warning sign. And again, because it's such a high time frame, it takes precedence over every time frame that's below it. Does it have to play out? No, it doesn't have to play out. But there is a statistical likelihood that it does, right? We're seeing this shooting star candlestick. This is a shooting star reversal style candlestick that I have highlighted with this arrow here. And again, shout out to Crypto Crew University. They're the one, that guy's the one that brought this to my attention. I watched that video. I did like it. I'm not trying to copy anybody. I'm just pointing out, relevant key points that I missed. I don't even look at the 6-month chart. This is the first time I've ever looked at the 6-month charts today, actually, and the indicators that we're seeing here are very, very powerful. We're actually seeing price action all the way above that red 10 moving average here, right within this box territory, seeing the top side of that box where that shooting star opened closed, basically, setting up a base of resistance. We can compare that to the Wyckoff distribution pattern that we saw on the daily chart for Bitcoin, right? We saw Bitcoin come up, top 4 times, and then distribute to the downside. And basically, as a result, on the 6th month, it printed out a beautiful shooting star reversal style candlestick. Now, obviously, we don't have momentum oscillators to confirm that edge. That edge is just that edge alone, the shooting star for right now, and seeing that area act as resistance is your confirmation for now. Now the downside target is all the way at the red 10 simple. That much is evident. We've seen it in the past. Bitcoin has these blow off tops, right, and then reverse down to the red 10, blow off top, reverse down to the red 10, blow off top. What could be next? A reversal all the way down to the red 10 simple from a 6-month perspective. From my chart, that's right around 15,000. I have a firm belief that it could go much lower. I think $9,000 per coin could be like a wick area, right? It could be like one of those targets where a wick opens up and body closures around 14K, 15K long term, if confirmed, could be a potential. But what I want to bring up is the fact that we also have a potential to base a low right around the $30,000 region, right? If this doesn't confirm and we shoot higher, then the price possibilities to the upside are fucking astonishing. However, seeing a pullback all the way to the 6-month red 10 simple would be healthy in my opinion, right? That would be a healthy market cycle top. Potentially see a bear market play out for a year or two, market cycle bottom before the next bull run, or base a low at 30,000 and continue the bull run, both of which are possibilities. Now, the reason why I bring this up is because kind of been the same thing I've been mentioning on my channel from a different perspective for quite some time. Obviously, I'm using the daily chart, right? And ooh, that's fucked. Here we go. Let's go ahead and fix that real quick. See what we got. This is not the chart that I want, obviously. This is the chart that I want. And we're seeing key levels on the daily that kind of highlight the feng shui, right? The feng shui for the potential targets to the downside. Now, obviously, I haven't gone as low as $14,000, obviously, because I'm not trying to, hindsight trade, that far down, obviously, because I don't think, Bitcoin's going to shoot down to $14,000 in one day. Or it could. I don't fucking know. Maybe it does. Maybe it does take 1 or 2 days to completely bottom out. You know what I'm saying? Or for now, I'm going to keep it realistic and I'm going to open up potential targets to the downside upon a break of this consolidation range that we have playing out for Bitcoin right now. But for the sake of hindsight purposes, I will identify a few targets even lower to the downside. Obviously, this region here could be a target. Let's see where that 14,000 lines up with. Right here. Gonna go ahead and just mark those off. Nice little consolidation phase, nice little order block territory. Obviously, the bottom side of that target's around 13,222. But realistically, this entire bull run here, from a daily perspective, it would be a real far cry to see any price action below this point here, 10,000, to be quite honest with you. And I do think that is a potential target to the downside. Again, from a nasty wick basis. It doesn't necessarily mean candle body closures or anything like that. But if we're to see some kind of nasty bear market ensue as a result of that consolidation phase breaking to the downside, these are just targets that are a potential for the downside. The statistical likelihood of those targets being met all the way down here, not sure of, right? All we can do is compare what we have on the daily to that 6-month chart and identify potential targets that we know of that fit within the bill of that red box territory here, again, on the 6 month. Oh, that's the wrong thing. my bad, on the 6 month here, identifying that that red box right along this region here. Again, the bottom side of that red box being around the red 10 simple, somewhere around 15,000 bucks. Again, that target to the downside is valid. If this decides to play through all the way to that downside. Coming back to the daily, mentioning things that can get very, very, very ugly. That much is true. Let's talk about what we see right now. We're just seeing consolidation, continuation, actually rejecting the lower level of the top side of that consolidation range here, basically forcing price action back down to that blue 377 that we've been watching for quite some time, printing in yet again another lower high and another anchor for a bearish divergence here. And now we see that RSI again breaking through the bottom side, or excuse me, breaking through the exponential, aiming towards the bull or the bearish control zone. But for the past couple days, again, we're just seeing evidence of that consolidation. Is it bullish consolidation? No, I don't think it's bullish consolidation. I actually think it's bearish consolidation before seeing price action potentially fall to the downside. However, again, from a technical analysis standpoint, you have to prepare for anything, right? That's why I identify all the levels to the upside and all the levels to the downside, because while my opinion and my bias is to the downside, my opinion doesn't mean shit if this decides to base low at 30 grand and shoot back up towards the moon, right? Which is why you have a plan. If you fail to plan, your plan is to fail. And right now, what we have, we're really putting pressure on that blue 377 moving average here. Again, seeing these last few critical levels, being pressured right now. Again, it makes me believe that we're going to see some price action to the downside. We're seeing volume really dying off here in this consolidation phase. Basically a little bit of a tell that something is likely to happen eventually. Again, alongside the historical volatility percentile, obviously we're seeing that moving average getting real crushed. Anything below that 20 read, and my radar is on, like, hey, we could potentially see a move result soon. And from a moving average perspective, we're getting real close to the bottom, to the lowest. Let's go ahead and look at some history here. Let's see where we actually see the moving average go all the way to crush levels. That's not out of the realm of possibilities. This is an extreme example here of when volatility was so crushed for such a long time, forcing that moving average almost to a zero read. That's an extreme example of duration of lack of volatility. But the fact that we're seeing volatility so crushed just tells me, hey, maybe we see something play out here pretty soon. And downside targets I will talk about, right? Any break below that blue 377, once again, I have to go through my technical analysis rules and look for an extension all the way back down to the prior low, right around this region, that double bottom that we see right there, right around 31,500. Any close below that region, I'm going to be looking for the last hope move. The last hope for the bullish perspective, in my opinion, is this low here, right around 30,500. Any closure below that region, I think bots and algos are going to flip, and they're going to flip hard. Where's my extension targets? Do I not have extensions here? Let's get the extensions, all right? Let's get the retracement levels here. Nope, that's extension. Got to go from the bottom to the top. Bottom to the top. Is that right? Is that accurate? What are we playing with? Yeah. I mean, typically the 0 spot 886 Fibonacci retracement level is kind of like the last hope region, right? And we're already seeing price action below that last hope region, consolidating between the 972 and the 886. Again, a break below that zero read, not going to play out well in my opinion for Bitcoin. I think the bots and algos are really going to start flipping to the sell side for this asset if that condition is to meet here. And obviously, if we break the bottom side, that last hope low here at 30,500, and then targets start flowing to the downside. Obviously, this region here is a very, very, very soft target. We have 1, 2, 3 days of price action history, maybe 4 if you consider the wick. 4 days of price action history, all within this region here, right around the 1 spot 272 Fibonacci retracement level, around 26,500. That could be the first target to the downside. Second target to the downside is right around the 1 spot 414. Anywhere within this box territory here, between 29,930 and 22,700 would be my second target to the downside. But more importantly, I want to bring up one more contributing factor here for the perspective of this asset. We're going to hide the tools here, bring up the VPVR, right? We're going to look at that high value node on this move, right? Let's look at the high value node. Boom. High value nodes are right there. Looking at the whole structure. We're seeing price action still below the high value node. We see two moving averages below the high value node. We see the death cross diverging further and further away from the purple 200, right? And this is it, right? This is the last level that I want to mention, right? This is that last low on Bitcoin's chart right here, right around 30,000. We'll just call it 30,400, right? Look at the node here. Right, you see how low value it is. Yeah, it's highlighted and you know, as a higher value node, but the significance in volume difference between the point of control volume and this point of volume here is very, very low. Any break below this, and we see, you know, volume completely die off all the way to the downside. This is your tell that we could see price action flow through all of this long term. Again, all the way down to that $14,000 potential market cycle low for Bitcoin, right? All within the realm of possibilities. So if you're managing your positions, if you're looking for a position, I'm still waiting, right? I'm still waiting for a position. I'm waiting for that one key point of confirmation to be confirmed before I enter in, you know, in a potentially devastating reversal for this asset. And again, look at that value node right there. 30,400 is that low that I'm looking for. Obviously, that's closing below all major moving averages on a medium-term time frame. A daily is what I trade, so that's where I, you know, base all my decisions off of. And a closure below that region doesn't spell greatness for this asset, in my opinion. Now, extremely long term, I'd still be bullish. Obviously, I'd still be bullish even if we saw, you know, a daily bear market ensue, a daily bear market taking price all the way down to 14,000, potentially even lower. I'd still be bullish, right? Long term, I would just be looking at those regions as major buying opportunities for long-term long positions, and they could be very, very, very juicy back up to the upside. Obviously, we've seen bear markets before. We're seeing the bear markets on that 6-month chart, which I'm going to be using for now as relevant. Again, let's go ahead and get rid of the VPVR. Bring back my indicators here for this one. Again, you know, we saw the bear market here, and this is why I like that that analysis that Crypto Crew University. Again, I'm shouting out Crypto Crew University. I am kind of using your idea a little bit. Don't call me out for like being a copy or anything. I'm just bringing my fans what's relevant and what I think is important. I think your analysis was important, bro. So if you're seeing this video, absolutely fantastic. I do love the long-term analysis for this, and I like the downside potential price targets for it. Again, seeing this box act as potential resistance could most definitely long-term force price action all the way back down to the red 10 simple. Perfectly aligned with the prior two boxes here, right? I think there was evidence of another box. I'm using Bitstamp's chart on this one here. Yeah, I do think Bitstamps is relevant, but you know, again, the case is very relevant. Seeing the macro cycle top here play out in a long-term bear market, about 6, 12, 18 months to the downside before putting in that reversal style hammer candlestick here, shooting price action back to the top side, another blow off top followed by a reversal to the what? To the red 10 simple. Boom. Back to the red 10 simple. Boom. Could we see another reversal to the back to the red 10 simple? I do think it is within the realm of possibilities. So that's kind of how I'm looking at Bitcoin, guys. I am preparing for those big, juicy, delicious moves to the downside, and I'm not going to be just playing the long side, right? I'm going to be playing. I'm going to be shorting the shit out of this if I get the signal to do so. So that's how I'm looking at Bitcoin, guys. I hope you guys are managing your positions well, watching those levels very, 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 very closely, and keeping a keen eye on the edge that you perceive as an edge for this market. If your edge is triggered, man, it's more risky not to take it. It's more risky for your overall capital not to take a beautiful indication than it is to just let it go, right? So paying very close attention to those key indicators, paying very close attention to this consolidation phase. Obviously watching those red flags, right? Watching those red flag pullbacks here below the below the blue 377 here, first red flag. Below this region here, this base of support 31,500, closures below that, another red flag, and closures below 30,500, huge fucking red flag from a daily perspective. So that's how I'm looking at Bitcoin here. Oh, let's talk about the top side. Top side of the range is right here. Obviously, it's not the top side of the greater range, but the range that we saw Bitcoin play out after this move from this top here to this low here is what I'm referencing, right? Any closure above this region here, 35,900. I'll be looking for extension all the way up to this region here, right around 39,200. Perfectly aligned with that purple 200 moving average, right? Any closure above there, we'll be looking at another test to the $40,500 region, and obviously any closure above that, that's probably going to be your signal of, hey, this likely bases a macro low within this region here. Again, from a daily perspective, and shoots onwards and upwards potentially to new all-time highs. Again, that is another possibility if we see 30,000, the 30,000 region basically mark off as a low, a macro low. We could see a nasty reversal to the upside, which would be very good, very, very good for Bitcoin in my opinion. But again, those are both sides of the coin. You have to prepare for both sides of the coin. Again, if you fail to plan, your plan is to fail, as one of my mentors would say. So we'll go ahead and move on. I think we're to the request land. Oh, he already put AMC. I don't even know why I did that. Delete. We'll go ahead and look at AMC. I'd say we're still within the realm of this box here. What I don't like is the declining momentum, right? This long-term structure has been broken. Broken. What's going to be real nasty, in my opinion, is a break below this box right here. We'll just call it the 4250 region, right? A break below that region, and look, volatility is expanding, right? Volatility is expanding to the downside. Volatility is expanding to the downside, right? Again, volatility is not an indication of a direction of a move. Volatility is an indication of violence within price action. We're seeing volatility expand on this downside price action movement. A break below 42, we'll just call it 43 bucks. Well, 42.50, right? 42.50. Any break below this box right here, alongside continuation below the 50 read from an RSI perspective, alongside a failure to bounce off of this long-term uptrend line, right? Continuation below this trend line is going to be very indicative. It's going to be a very, very, very big warning signal that the top is likely in for this one, in my opinion. Pullback targets are below the green 55. This would be the first one right around 35 spot 50, or 32 spot. We'll just call it 32 bucks. Anywhere in this box would be my next target to the downside. Kind of perfectly aligned with that Cyan 89 moving average here. Again, ooh, what did I do? Where was that at? I need to hit the lock button so I can fucking move my chart around without worrying about my indicators here. But like I said, pullback. Pullback is a pullback, bro. Pullback is a pullback, bro. And to be quite honest with you, we're putting a lot of pressure to the downside on volatility expansion, on declining momentum to the downside. We're obviously seeing the bears starting to take control of this one. The apes aren't hodling. The apes aren't hodling. Oh my God. Who would have known? Who would have known that the apes aren't just a singular hive mind that follow directive and everyone just holds forever? That's not how it works, man. You can't just convince everybody and everyone to hold for forever on an asset. People are gonna sell, man. I'm seeing people post all over Facebook, all over. I sold my AMC, got a fucking Lambo. Sold my AMC and paid for my vacation. Sold AMC and did this. Sold AMC and did that. There's your evidence. People are selling. Right? We gotta remember, you guys. Meme stocks are fun. They are fun. Meme stocks are fun to play with, right? I had fun playing with AMC. Okay, right? Do I think it's going to fucking $1,000? I've said this so many times. No! AMC is not even worth $1,000 a share. People are gonna sell. Come on, man. You gotta follow the technicals, man. You can't go off of hopium. And what I tell people that go off of hopium, okay, is Put a pile of shit in one hand and then put your wishes in the other hand and tell me which one feels more realistic. Because you're going to feel the shit in your hand, but you're not going to feel nothing. Air, a dream, a hope, right? That's why technicals are so important, right? You're gonna get you need confirmation before those extensions to the upside, to those moonshots, right? You need to look at confirmations to the upside, confirmations to the downside. And there are a lot of contributing factors that go into this, right? All the market data that you can possibly provide. Oh, AMC is sold out. Oh, 99% of AMC stocks are being held. Are they? Evidence tells me that is not true, home sirs, homeboys. Sorry, technicals win every time. That's why I rely on the charts and not what people say, not what the news tells me, not what the hope is, not what the dream is, because if there's a trade to take, the technicals are going to tell me to take it. And it's statistically more probable that I take the trade and win on that trade than not. What is more probable is losing based off of news, hopium, fear of missing out, FUD, right? You guys have heard of FUD. All the psychological factors that lead to people not being successful over time in trading or investing. FUD. When you FUD, you probably enter when it's too late, and then you end up losing money. Come on, guys. Come on. AMC is not your dream stock. AMC is not going to buy everybody that has AMC a brand new fucking car, especially not the ones that are only holding a couple shares. People thinking that they're going to get filthy fucking rich off of 2 shares of AMC, thinking it's going to go to $100 per AMC. Nah. Sorry, man. I'm a firm believer that the technicals win every time. I will always say this on my channel for as long as I have the channel. You know, news is relevant to a point, and it all depends on the news, right? But basic news that people hear every day doesn't fucking mean a thing. Doesn't mean a goddamn thing. Especially not from a fucking Facebook page that seems to believe they're going to pump AMC to $5,000 a share. I don't know how it's going to be done. So, rant aside, let's dive in, right? Again, highlighting this low level here. This is the box that I've had highlighted, for the duration of this consolidation range here. It could very well continue to consolidate, but what tells me that it's likely not to continue consolidating is the fact that we're seeing volatility expansion on this downside move to, to basically test the bottom side of the box, right? If we get a break below that box, we likely see expansion further to the upside from volatility while price action continues down to this box region here. And any further closures down below that likely to result in extreme violence. Extreme violence will ensue all the way down to 20 spot 25. That'd be my next target to the downside, seeing complete failure for AMC here. Not looking good, to be quite honest with you. Not looking good. Seeing rejection of that exponential moving average on RSI play out multiple times. 1, 2, 3, 4 times. Maybe a fifth, maybe. But the break of that long-term structure here is what's telling me that AMC is rather in danger at the current moment in time. If we see a new low print, any RSI movement below the 47 read here is going to tell me that this is a very, very, very valid move to the downside, and it's likely to continue as a result. Stochastics is kind of like the only hopium magnet for me at the current moment. We're starting to see a little bit of waning momentum upon this 4-touch uptrend line from a stochastics perspective. We're below that 50 read. If we break this structure, continue seeing stochastics in the critical zone, not going to be a delicious, tasty read in my opinion. Likely momentum belongs to the bears at that point. But upside potential. Yellow 21 is the first target, $49. Closure above $49, I'll be convinced of a potential move all the way back up to this, the top side of the range around 61 spot 90. If that condition is met. Again, I'm letting a little bit of my bias bleed through here. I do trade technical analysis. I don't trade my opinion. I take the signals that I receive, and the signal that I'm receiving right now is probably a little bit more to the downside for this one. So, we'll go ahead and leave AMC attack because I don't see all-time highs coming for this one. Not quite yet. Not quite yet for this one. Go ahead and move on. Let's see what we got next. SQ. I have no idea what that is. Square Inc. Is that a video game company? I mean, long term they're fucking bullish. Short term, medium term. Bearish divergence played to the downside. Gotta give me a second, everybody, to kind of overlay this chart here. Look at some key levels. That's a key level. This is definitely a key level. This is a key level. Volatility is contracting. It's very indicative of consolidation, to be quite honest with you. So there is some downside potentials for this one. Volatility is completely fucking destroyed right now. RSI though, reading a little bit bullish here, bouncing off the 50 read, bouncing back towards that positively. Well, it's not positively sloped. It's actually slightly negative slope. Slightly negative. We're seeing RSI bounce towards back towards that exponential here. Seeing a little bit of bearish divergence play out. You know, bouncing off that yellow 21 moving average, basing a low. I do like that. I don't like the change of behavior that low put in though. Taking out this prior low right on the red 10 simple here, printed on the 2nd of July. Not the greatest read of all time. And again, you know, another specific read is seeing, you know, the top side, the critical zone reject from a stochastics perspective. Now, is that a death sentence? No, not at all. We're actually still above the 50 read here, so I am inclined to say that we're still in a little bit. We still see bullish control here for now. Wow, right at the 50 read. Let's see what the past says about the 50 read. Not too many touches of the 50 read specifically, but you know, what do I mean, RSI is going up, stochastics is coming down. I think it's consolidation, man. I think we see a pullback. I think we see more of a pullback. I mean, we've been consolidating for quite some time. Obviously, the range is a little bit smaller than the overall range. Could we see extension to the top side of the range? Yeah. If we break 248 spot 80, I will look for extension to this region here, 257 right on the money, which we've already seen reject once. Any closure above that, then I'll look for the top side of the overall range right around 275. But for now, we're seeing this region here act as resistance and continue to act as resistance. So a little bit of a pullback is going to be my next guess here. 235 spot 50 is going to be the next level that I'm looking for to the downside, only because stochastics is really getting crushed. And the volatility basically identifies potential consolidation from my perspective here. What does a weekly say about this one? Ooh, a lot of dojis, man, a lot of dojis, but volatility is getting crushed. Stochastics are up, back above the 50 read. That doesn't mean it could print a lower high here, which would be indicative of a potential reversal. Bounce off the 50 read, sideways sideways RSI. Long term, same, probably the same. It's consolidating, definitely consolidating right now. I really do believe consolidation is the answer for me right now. That's the 2-day, my bad. Yeah, it's just been consolidating for all this time. Bouncing off the lows, high volatility, top. Consolidation. Yeah, it's consolidation. Consolidation is consolidation until the top side of the range is broken. Anything above 275. Are we looking at all-time highs? We are looking at all-time highs if that condition is met here. I do not like the lower high structure though. Well, yeah, that's lower high. High, lower high, lower high. Yeah, I don't like the lower high structure. It is indicative of a potential downtrend. Well, it is a downtrend. Higher high, lower high. Lower low, lower high. Yeah, it is a downtrend. The downtrend is confirmed from a conservative standpoint. So, that doesn't mean it's going to act as a downtrend. It's consolidation for me right now. That's kind of how I'm looking at it. That's kind of how I perceive it. How do you perceive it? Let's get the extensions just in case. Fuck it. Why not? Little mental fun right here. Yeah, break above this region here. Top side consolidation, 275. I'd be looking for extension of the one spot to 272. 272, right around $300. That'd be the if scenario. That's a lot of hindsight trading. But for a little bit of fun, right? We can look at potentials in the future here. Again, if we see this region break, $300 would be my next target. However, any closure below this region here, This is going to be my next target to the downside right here, right around 222. We'll just call it 220 bucks would be my next target to the downside. And then this region here would be another target to the downside. So that's it. That's how I'm looking at this one. It is a little bit weird seeing conflicting movements on two different oscillators here. We're seeing RSI go to the upside, stochastics coming to the downside, not really showing that much weakness. Still showing a lot of aggressiveness to the downside. Now, see this little bit of a curve that tells me that momentum is waning a little bit, but that does not mean it won't continue to come to the downside. That much is true. So that's kind of how I'm looking at this one. Square Inc. Cool. Let's move on. Ethereum. Probably just as fucking garbage as Bitcoin. Yeah, that's definitely a downtrend. Actually below the 200. Let's go ahead and let's use some other targets. Actually, let's clear this chart. Let's see let's just start with a fresh chart, right? Blow off top. Boom. Now, what I do want to remind you guys of, Corey especially, because I know he's gonna be watching this. If Bitcoin dies, Ethereum is very likely to do the exact same. Promise you. Not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. But from my experience, when Bitcoin dies, when Bitcoin goes into a bear market, we ultimately see the rest of the 2017, 2018 altcoins follow suit, right? We're kind of seeing a little bit of that downtrend continuation as a result right here and right now. Still below that key critical level that's been highlighted for quite some time here. I think the level is 2,300. We'll call it 2,300. Actually seeing price action close. Did we close below? Yeah, that's a close below the white 200 simple here, indicative of potential movement further to the downside. Any closure below that purple. Actually, let's line this up. This is a good level here. Any closure below this level here, 1987 spot 40. I'm going to be looking for a full extension all the way back down to this region here, the prior low, right around 1,800 bucks. This one actually has a lot more lows to go off of here, technically, Bitcoin's going to be the driving force that controls this asset, in my opinion. So if Bitcoin, goes to the crypto abyss, this likely does the same. Long-term targets, though, I'm not very aware of. I don't really trade Ethereum that often. Maybe I should. Let's go ahead and highlight some, right? There's your first target. Boom. Maybe bring that up. Maybe I just... Yeah. Nice little boxy box zone here. Soft target here. Target here. You can obviously tell I haven't played with Bitcoin, or not Bitcoin, Ethereum in a long time. I used to play with it a lot, but that was back in like 2019, something like that. So yeah, okay, let's continue on. Again, a break below this region here, 1985 spot 50. I'm going to be looking for a pullback to this prior low here. Any break below that gets pretty devastating. That I think this low lines up with Bitcoin's current higher low. I'd be looking for extension all the way to the blue 377, very likely right around the 1575 region. Likely even a test of that blue 377 here. Anything further is hindsight trading. I want to stay away from that on this asset because I'm not that familiarized with it. However, we could print a higher low, technically speaking. But what we see is volatility expanding on this downside movement. Stochastics continuing below the 50 read, which is right here. Exponential is likely to follow suit with any candle closure below that level here. We do see RSI rejecting that neutral zone multiple times. We got the break below the exponential, and the exponential is now back to a negative slope here. There is no structure here, just consolidation, except we're not seeing extreme consolidation, in my opinion. We're seeing down, bounce, down. You know, this region here was consolidation, but we saw that consolidation range break. Potentially new consolidation forming, yes, but change of behavior, taking out this low here, that was confirmed on yesterday's candle closure. So the change of behavior is very evident. I'm going to mark that level off for visual representation here. This tells me continuation to the downside. Volatility expanding. All momentum oscillators are pointing down. I do think the next target is going to be somewhere around this region here, right around 1,800 bucks here for Ethereum. So ADA is likely to be just as garbage as well. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. ADA. Haven't looked at this one in a while. Actually, no. What the fuck? This one's actually not doing too bad. This one's actually still fucking bullish technically. However, volatility is pointing up just a little bit. RSI, let's see what it says. Come on, man. RSI breaking. RSI looking almost the same as Ethereum here. Negative exponential. We're using it as resistance. Continuing to the downside. Printing a change of behavior low at this region here. Continuation to this level is going to be my next target. We actually already saw that hold as support once before with this candlestick here, and the following candle, and this candle here. So you know, we got that break. We got that break of that level, right? We're going to see potential continuation to this region here. Any closure below $1.25, I'm going to be looking for extension to the prior low here, right around a $1.15, maybe a $1.16, give or take a few cents. Anything below that is going to be a distinct change of behavior from my perspective, you know, because this is a downtrend, right? All these lows were taken out with this new low here, but if you compare those lows to this low here, this low here, this low here, we are technically in a higher low uptrend, but that is definitely in danger, especially if Bitcoin decides to continue on further to the downside. Again, looking at Bitcoin, we'll go ahead and check that out a little bit. Playing with that key critical level here. Anything below here is going to be, you know, very, very bad in my opinion for Bitcoin. Very, very, very bad. Again, this is the last low that Bitcoin has to hold on to for any bullish potential here. I'm talking, you know, basing a potential low at 30,000 bucks, shooting off to the moon to new all-time highs, that kind of stuff. But if we take that region out, it's very likely that we see full-on extension all the way to that bear market, to the downside. Things are going to get very, very ugly for all cryptocurrencies that are tied to Bitcoin. You know, Ethereum, you know, ADA, Litecoin. And coins like that. So, you know, that's kind of the overall feeling for cryptocurrencies. Although this one does look a lot healthier. You know, it hasn't really died too much, right? You know, holding structure, holding these higher lows here. So we could technically see a higher low based off this support, and then, you know, another little bounce to the upside. However, you know, the pressure does point to the downside. So any closure above this region here, $1.33, I'll look for extension to the prior high. Right around $1.45, back above all major moving averages, and that would change my mind for potential upside. But from a change of behavior perspective, I think this is the high right here I need to see taken out, right around $1.60. Any closure above there, then I'll be looking for, you know, higher highs to continue printing with this one. But since Bitcoin looks like dog shit, I think the altcoins will follow suit again if those conditions are met. I know I'm letting a lot of my bias bleed out at the current moment in time, but again, these kinds of coins that are tied along with Bitcoin, very, very, very likely to get absolutely devastated, more so than Bitcoin, if Bitcoin decides to continue onwards with a legitimate bear market. So that's where I'm going to wrap it up, everybody. If you guys like the video, please hit that like button, please hit that subscribe button, tick that little bell, join the channel, spread the love, criticize me, make fun of me, I don't care. Join the channel. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking to, learn and get better every single day. The more and more I post, again, I use these for documenting my own findings on Bitcoin. That is, my main trading asset. That's what I trade the most. So I use this platform to document my analysis and use it as feedback and reflect on my own analysis to find, potential improvements, not only technically, but psychologically as well. So again, thanks for being here, guys. Thanks for watching the channel. Thanks for your guys' support. If you guys have any friends, families, loved ones that you want to bring into the channel, tell them to join the Blackfire Technical Analysis YouTube channel. Join Blackfire Technical Analysis on Facebook. Find us at Twitter at Fire Analysis, I think it is. And then the other platforms I could just send you links to for invites and stuff like that. So thanks again, guys. And until next time, stay safe, stay happy.